Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns podcast. I'm going to give this a shot today. I have never done a live stream, mainly because I didn't have Chrome on my computer yet. So I've added in Chrome. I don't know if any of you will join me, but it's a snow day. So I thought I would just give this a shot and see how it goes. Of course, a bunch of you may be outside making snowmen for all I know. Or maybe you're making snow ice cream. Yeah, that's something we used to do when we were kids. We would make snow ice cream. Go out and you'd find that snow pretty white, clean. I don't know if that's safe anymore. They keep telling us when I was growing up about acid rain. Had to worry about the acid rain. I don't think you have to worry about that now. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Maybe today wasn't a good day. Yep, I've been sitting here. I'm knitting a little bit. Move that camera a bit. And I'm just going to sit here and wait. Maybe you guys are taking a nap. Maybe something's not working on my end. Who knows? Whoops. Oh boy. Anyway, I thought I would come on and try this, do a little test. We'll see how it works. If no one shows up, it'll be me all by myself today. Talk to myself. Well, isn't that kind of what happens when you're filming podcast anyway? You're talking to yourself, talking to the camera like usual. My husband tells me we had 10 inches of snow today. Well, it was snow that fell between yesterday and today. He went out to clean the car off because today we had to get the oil changed. And of course, he was the lucky volunteer today to go out and do that. Many times because of class, I do it, unless it's a summer thing. But yeah, no class. University is closed. They shut down because of the snowstorm, which is probably a smart thing to do. Although I noticed today where we're at that the local Head Start was still picking up kids. I find that hard to believe that they were going to pick up the kids when the STEP agency was closed, which usually runs the Head Start where we're at. So I don't know what was going on with that one. And there's no telling. Today I'm knitting, and I'm kind of knitting on, it's Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam, her number 98 episode for Holidays on a Budget. And I am working on, this is I believe she called it a cowl, maybe a scarf type. It'll go around the neck, and it'll be joined in the back with a button, or a brooch or something. Most likely a button. It's one of those you can turn it around and wear the button in front or wear it in back. And it has a nice little border, and then it has some garter drop stitches. Garter is my absolute favorite of knitting. I don't like doing purl stitches, although I can purl by throwing. I can purl, I knit by continental. I can throw Portuguese style. I've tried, I think one was Norwegian style. Yeah, I can do all of them, but I still don't like doing purls. So, but this whole pattern is basically knit all the way through, except when we get to that garter stitched lace drop stitch. And when I get through it this row, I start it, and I'll show you what I've been doing with it. Because I am throwing that one row just because it's a little bit easier. Just because the way you wrap the needles, but it's turning out, it's an awful pretty little cowl, scarf, whatever she wants to call it. And I am doing it in I think it's Red Hearts with Love in the metallic. Let me get that. It is Red Hearts with Love metallic, and the color is red. So I'm knitting that in this. And I have a couple of other colors. I've got some real pretty, a silver color and a gold. I would like to also do one in the olive color. It's awful pretty, but every time I go to my Walmart, it's sold out. So apparently it's selling like hotcakes. But that's kind of interesting how that works. You know? Today I am drinking some tea. It is ginger peach tea. And I have it in my little Bubba cup because that'll keep it nice and warm or cold, either way. So I'm enjoying that. It's still nice and warm. So I'm thinking of you, Seta, while I'm drinking my tea, and Mimi. There are big, of course, we're all pretty much tea drinkers, I think. Maybe not. Trying to get ready for some of the holiday gifts. I started, a couple of months too late again, like normal. I think that's what a lot of folks do this time. Kind of procrastinate. And yeah, I'm a big procrastinator. So I'm going to try to do a bunch of gifts in a few weeks. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I had planned on working some more on some project bags for the shop, but my machine is having a little bit of a hiccup. So I think it's going to have to go to the machine doctor. But sometimes if you just give it a rest, it goes back to working right. I don't know what happens with that. I told you I had that one problem earlier where I had to call and get it fixed over the phone. And we may have to do that again. I think what happened with my machine is I accidentally hit something and it just switched something else on. So if I wait a little bit and then go back up and start it up, it'll have canceled that out. But if you turn it back on too soon, like right away, it automatically goes back to the setting you were using. It won't go back to the default settings. So I'm going to give it a rest and hope that it goes back to the default settings, which it normally does. Like I said, I think I was doing something and I just hit something by accident and don't know what I was hitting. Which, isn't beyond anything that might happen to me because I do that quite often. We make boo-boos. I'm curious, do any of you, have you got your Christmas knitting crochet done yet? Because I know I'm having a hard time, with it. I thought I had planned out some items and, of course, promptly lost the list. So I'm starting over again with a new list. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. It's not quite 1:30 or 2:30, I think, here in Pennsylvania. And I've not heard the snowplows go by yet today. It's awful quiet out there. Normally our landlord has a landscaping crew that comes and cleans the walks, which they're supposed to do 24 hours after the snow. Well, the way that the weather had worded the snow was that it was running from, I think, 8 a.m. yesterday to 8 a.m. this morning. So the landlady, we're one of the last ones that get done. She does her higher end folks first because, they pay a little higher money than us. So they get done first. Don't like that part. Now with this, it is a garter stitch drop stitch. So what you do is you're going to wrap both needles, then go back around and wrap the back needle and pull that off. And you do that all the way across for that one section. And yeah, you'll see, I find it easier to do it in the garter stitch. Now, here's the reason I don't like to throw, even though I do know how to do it, is I always feel like this needle is floppy. I don't know what to do with it. And it bothers me, So, I've probably told you the story about when I was pregnant. And if I haven't, let me know. Hi, how are you, Ruthie? If I haven't told you the story about when I was pregnant and knitting and throwing, please tell me and I will retell that story. I'm getting older. I can't remember everything. So what are you up to today, Ruthie? I sure hope you didn't get as much snow as we did. We got a total of 10 inches. And there's nothing going on out there. It's completely quiet, which I'm kind of surprised at. I figured students would be out there making the snowmen, having snowball fights, but apparently it's too cold for that. Ooh, was it good? You're talking about the Fantastic Beast, right? The second one? That's on my want to go see list. I don't think I've seen it here yet. Um, it generally comes, movies get here about a week later, 2 weeks later than they do anywhere else. I missed the Bohemian Rhapsody. I'd wanted to see that one as well. But this is on my list to see. The Fantastic Beast. When we first watched the first one, I watched it the first time and I wasn't sure that I liked it. But after watching it the second time, I really liked it. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just interesting seeing new characters when we're so used to the Harry Potter ones. So yeah. Like I said, I'll tell you the story about me being pregnant and learning to knit. When I was pregnant back in 1980, and this was probably January of 83 because my daughter was born March the 31st. I had wanted to knit a baby blanket with probably red heart pink yarn. And of course, didn't know anybody that knit. All I had was the book. This was back when Kmart had yarn. That was a long time ago. And I always felt like this needle was real floppy, had those big, long, 14-inch needles. Maybe they weren't 14, but they sure seemed like they were awful long. And that needle just flopped around and drove me nuts. So, as I was knitting, I found the perfect place to put the end of that needle. It just happened to be my belly button. Now, towards the very end, when I got finished with that blanket, I had a doctor's appointment, OB, and of course they were measuring the stomach, and they still did it with the what was it? The tape measure from top of the belly down to get an estimate of how big the baby is. And I go in, and my doctor, Dr. Smith, was a curmudgeonly old guy, and he was kind of cranky. A lot of people didn't like him, but he was a very blunt doctor. He looked at me and he said, "Young lady, what is wrong with your belly button?" And I said, "Nothing's wrong with my belly button." He said, "It's real red and angry. What's going on?" And I said, "Oh, well, I was just resting my knitting needle in there, you know, while I was knitting a blanket." Well, you could see the gears in this doctor's eyes going. He was like, "Oh my God, young lady, don't do that. That's dangerous. I don't want to ever hear about you using your belly button to hold your knitting needle." Well, I told him, I said, "Well, you don't have to worry about it from now on because I'm done. The blanket's finished." He goes, "Thank God. I don't want to hear about you knitting ever again that way." So that is probably the last thing I made for the next 20 years. Although I continued to try to learn to knit, and it took me 20 years to learn to knit because all I knew was the throw method. It drove me nuts. So what I wound up doing, computer and had the internet. Of course, I found the YouTube video and learned to knit a Continental. Of course, like I said, the only thing is with this stitch, this garter lace drop stitch, I am doing the throw method because I find it a little easier since you wrap both needles and then the back needle. But yeah, that's my story. Everybody finds it funny, although there are a couple of people that were like, oh my God. But you know, when you want to do something, you'll find a way. And I really wanted to knit that blanket. Today I'm hoping that I was in Florida with you, Ruthie, because it is cold outside. I am doing this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. She had she has a series, and this is the episode number 98. It's called Holiday on a Budget, and it is basically, I believe she called it a cowl, and you basically knit, and it can be joined at the back with a button, or you can wear it in the front, and it kind of looks almost like a little shoulder shawl. So I thought I would make it, and I'm doing that in the metallic with love. And this is the row that you do the garter lace drop stitch, which, I know you can't see what I'm doing, but you're basically just wrapping around the back needle to the front and then around that back needle again, and then bringing it through the stitches. It's a real pretty stitch, and I think when it gets blocked out, it's going to be gorgeous. And I want to do it also in the olive metallic that Red Hearts with Love yarn has. But I was talking about how I can't find it in my area because every time I go, it's gone. So apparently it's a hot color. But I know I'll get it eventually. Have you got your Christmas gifts done yet, Ruthie? That's what I'm working on, is Christmas gifts. I don't know why I start so late, but I do. Got a little bit of the sniffles. I think it's allergies. I can just see you, Ruthie, getting excited to be able to wear something. I like wearing things that I make, but it's been a while since I've made anything. Worn anything that I make. But I have a cowl that I put away, and I can't find it, but I can't hardly wait to hold it. I made a nice long list. Hey, at least you're getting things done. The list is the biggest part, right? But, I'm bad about waiting till the end. And sometimes I think I do that because, I do so much stuff with charity that I just forget about things that I want to do just because I want to do them. It goes all back to that learn to say no thing. Well, Ruthie, I am about ready to leave. It was nice chatting with you a little bit. This was my first attempt at live, so I was just giving it a shot. And, oh, hi. I am glad I am not the only one that struggles with saying no. You know, my girlfriends are always teasing me about getting a tattoo that says no. I'm afraid one of these days they may take me down to the tattoo parlor to get that tattoo. Anyway, I'm glad to see both of you, but I'm gonna head out now. So next time I will announce when I'm going to go live. So maybe we'll get a few more people to join in. But you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.